Now, let's get into Jacinda Ardern. How do you feel being ticked off by New Zealand, James?
Well, this whole thing with Jacinda Ardern, I have been so bemused by it, so much of the commentary that's been going on around this. You know, it's really, everybody's missing the bigger picture about this. This is really about the geopolitics of the Pacific. And Jacinda Ardern, she's not being particularly helpful. You know, we've got this situation where, of course, China is trying to muscle in on the Pacific. There's a lot of great game politics that are happening right now. And for Jacinda Ardern to try and just chip at us when, well, we all know that Jacinda Ardern's New Zealand has not done anywhere near as much around climate as we think they have, or she's presented herself as. They're not much of a saint. They didn't do Kyoto 2. Their 2030 targets are only 2% different to Australia's. So the idea that they're fantastic, virtuous folks over in New Zealand, when of course they've also got all the methane emissions from their sheep populations, is really a bit rich. And what they're doing there, I think, is actually quite dangerous, because what they're doing is they're allowing the Pacific Island nations, you know, and God bless them for doing it, but you know, they're allowing them to play us off China for, you know, who they can get the most money out of, I think.
Yeah, I mean, lecturing us on coal when that's part of our prosperity. They're happy to spend our money, Jane. And here she is, you know, beating her chest about their climate targets that she won't be around to see implemented as PM. God help us that she lasts that long. But even so, she wants to exempt agriculture and methane from their target, but that's half of their emissions load. I mean, really and truly, does she think we don't look at the detail?
I know, I'm so glad your editorial was bang on about this tonight, Peter. I've been hot under the collar, being lectured by Jacinda Ardern, spare us all. And look, you know, yes, they have a lot of power from hydro and the like, but, you know, when you look at China's carbon emissions, if you want to look at carbon emissions, when you look at the hypocrisy that she is playing to, and I also think it was a really unneighbourly thing for her to have said. I see Winston Peters has had to come back and sort of walk that back. And actually, he did point out the hypocrisy of China and doing deals with China and their carbon emissions. But I thought it was really unneighbourly of Jacinda Ardern. I think James is right. She's really playing some politics there. But I'm with you, Peter. I think we'll see her end up at the UN like Helen Clark did. And probably I'm with your cousins sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later,
Look, it used to drive me absolutely crackers, James. We talk about the Five Eyes, you know, United States, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand. So Canada's not in it, but all of us, we you know, information sharing. And I used to say it's not Five Eyes, it's Four Eyes and a squint, and the squint is New Zealand. They barely pull their weight.